So here's a take, and I don't know. I think my hair looks so cool at this angle. I'm trying to get it in these different angles so that you guys see the volume. Also, maybe the dryness. It's very dry right now. Not the point. Remember when I told you guys we were finally gonna start having the conversation about what happens when the stay-at-home girlfriend makes a transition? We are now having that conversation. You might not be, but I am, and I just want to translate. So, basically what's happening is guys and girls who are living together, and the girls have been serial stay-at-home girlfriends for most of their adulthood, and their relationships are ending. Marriages are leading to divorce, okay? All these things are happening, and now these women have to adult. What do I mean when I say these women have to adult? If you're living in an apartment with your boyfriend for, let's say, 3 years, right? And then he's working and you are not working. And now you have to leave there. And you have to find somewhere else to live. Then you have to find a job. Then you have to create a budget for like food. You have to pay your phone bill. You have to do all the shit that we're having that conversation about. Remember, like the stay-at-home girlfriend, what happens when the relationship doesn't end? This is like a very common thing in this new state. In California, I feel like maybe it was happening, but nobody was really talking about it. Maybe there was much more of a like bill splitting situation where both people have jobs and they're kind of like co-living. That's what I think people are calling it, that they're co-living. A lot of people don't want to give up their apartments for multiple reasons because it's like, oh, what if your relationship ends? Where would I go? Where'd I go? This is another reason why a lot of Christians believe in like no sex before marriage and really like don't move in with someone unless you're married. That's like the whole point of that. Like when you start living with someone, you should really be making serious commitments to that person. Obviously like monogamous commitments, but like financial commitments, because like once you have a situation, like you have moved into an apartment, you've moved into like when your parents let you move into their fucking womb, okay, you stayed there for 9 fucking months rent free. And then they gave you housing and shelter for 18 years, rent-free. And for many of you, you got an additional 3 or 4 years, rent-free. So you haven't really actually paid for anything yet, but there comes a day when the economics and the capitalism start knocking on your door, and you gotta pay. It happens to the best of us, right? But this is why so many of us, well, maybe I'm not going to say all of us, but a lot of us are having conversations about adulting. Because you can't live with your parents forever. And if you're a fucking grown-ass adult making YouTube videos in the basement of your parents' house or in their fucking living room, you're a loser and feel your feelings. But you are. Like, get the fuck out of your parents' house, bro. Like, it's a problem. Like, you have issues. You just do. You do. Really, if you're over 21, 22, you've graduated from college already. There's no reason that you should be living with your parents for longer than 6 months to like pull your shit together and like get on out. I know things are much more expensive, it's hard, but you gotta figure it out like everybody else. My mom used to say that to me and it made me feel like she hated me. I do understand now why she said it, and she's right. I just think there has to be like a buffer moment where parents let their kids know like this is how it's going to be, and then they like give them an opportunity to like move into that. You can't just throw people into that overnight. But I wonder, to those of you who are on TikTok and YouTube and all that shit, when you see all these girls living van life, I'm not gonna say all of them, but a lot of them who are resorting to like van life, start over with me, the daily routine channels, I feel like these are all the stay-at-home girlfriends who have made a transition into like adulting in real life, like the rest of us started at. I'm hoping for the best for these girls, but I also want to say, like, we all saw it coming, and it's kind of weird. It's just weird. Because that's another thing, too, where I feel like people keep doing these aesthetics things where they're like, oh, if I'm prettier, then I'll get this. People are not ending relationships because people aren't pretty enough, or even because their bodies aren't great enough, like you're not in shape enough. Like, that's not the reason people are ending relationships. People are ending relationships because they realize, I feel like a lot of guys are ending relationships because they realize that they have girlfriends that just lack all substance. They're not interesting. Lots of them actually aren't very pretty. Like, you take off the makeup and there's nothing there. Like, they just don't offer anything, and the guys are having to foot the bill. It's like you're taking on an expense. Like, a live-at-home girlfriend is an expense. Really, all things are an expense, right? Like, when guys are up here on Bumble complaining about dates, $50 dates, $200 dates. Well, I mean, a lot of the girls who are trying to date you guys are trying to sign up to be stay-at-home girlfriends, and you're putting way more than $200 fucking dollars. You're talking about $2,000 rent, okay, and all of the food expenses and all of the everything. Like, these guys have to be making bank, or else how would they get these girls? Like, life costs money, okay, and you gotta have the money to afford the life. Like, apartments ain't free. Internet ain't free. Champagne, honey, it ain't free. It costs money. Gotta have the money. Gotta have the money.